Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tumbleweeds and Tombstones, the game where each week my players try to accuse me of trying to kill them, and I have to remind them that they're already dead.
We don't try, we succeed at accusing you of trying to kill us.
Lots and lots of death.
It's true. It's true. I hope everyone made it through St. Patrick's Day with their livers mostly intact.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a few in the freezer ready to go just in case.
Oh, okay, good. It's always good to have a spare.
I started my liver and it hasn't stopped yet.
Good.
Liver pate is. Oh, we're not talking about that.
Yes,
No.
Serve man. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into tonight's recap. When last the Obsidian Spurs were together, you guys were still in the outpost, having just pulled the captain aside to question him about the secret notebook and gun that had silver bullets and a cryptic warning attached with them. After some convincing and him having some realization of the supernatural being real, it became apparent that an old acquaintance of yours, or the group's, that of Mr. Black, the kindred closest thing to what this area has as a prince who works out of the Golden Goose Saloon, sent an envoy quite some time ago to approach the captain, basically asked him to help move along some messages, the occasional package, as somewhat of a mailing system and a halfway point for a lot of these messages to go out at different places. And in return, seeing a nice profit, which he shared with the rest of his men there at the base. After some more questioning, Liam did his bit to mind wipe the remaining surviving members of this garrison. And with some help from Asmodeus and some well-placed fire, convinced all of them that they had been attacked and overrun by some of the Comanche people nearby, that the base had been leveled and was on fire, and that they were all escaping with their lives. You all then continued over the next couple of nights to heal up, to assess what, if any, damages were done to the base, to help repair the carriage, to help try and make the Lupine Talon daggers. Wea got a little bit more information out of Asmodeus as to his motives and a little bit of his backstory. And then lastly, Henry finally awakened after several days of being unconscious. He seemed to have little to no memory of what transpired after he was shot and the entity inside him took over, much like when most of you go through frenzy. He apologized for any damage that might have happened, and then when a quiet moment happened, took Liam and Wea aside, them having delved inside his mind, and giving a little bit more information of him being somewhat confused as the nature of what this thing is, though having his suspicions, and that it was a unconscious choice in a moment of desperation in his past of reaching out for something to help him, and that this is the first time that he lost control and didn't even know that that was an option. He gave you both full permission that if he ever became a full danger to the rest of the gang, to deal with it as however you see fit, and that he would hold no grudge for whatever happens. He reassured you that while he was still in control, his goals were to help as much as he could, but that after this mission, he needed to travel back east to New England to try and connect with his grandfather if he is indeed still alive. some hard truths were had, some conversation made, and we ended it about there with you all getting ready to prep. And with the advice from PETA, getting ready to roll out the following evening as to not make too big of a scene here at this location and thus lose the element of surprise. And that is where we are for tonight's game. So let's jump into tonight's episode of Tumbleweeds and Tombstones. So the night starts. Y'all burn blood.
Ugh.
It is very early in the evening. It's around 6 o'clock.
Ugh, I hate
The
waking
night
up
is
with
yours.
Frontier mouth. Ugh.
Oh,
Yeah,
let's go
can
get that. I found a remedy for that a long time ago. It's called grass.
Just can we please eat some rich people soon? Oh. Oh, that's right. We're still here.
Yeah.
These tastes ain't fancy enough for you?
He's kidding, right? All right. I should go check on Bartleby. I did tell him to take the night off and actually get some rest for once.
Okay, Bartleby, you know, is staying in the now vacated captain's quarters, as Franklin did make it with the escaping party.
Why am I even knocking?
You come in and Bartleby is there. You see on the table over by like where the fireplace and chairs are, what looks like the remains of some kind of dinner that he had, plate and some silverware with little bits of food that he probably got from the supply storeroom. And he is passed out asleep on the bed.
Is there water near the bed? Like a pitcher or a glass?
Yeah, there's a pitcher and a wash basin that's over by the nightstand that's over there.
God damn it. How you doing?
It is quite literally ice cold, given that this is the middle of winter and it was left out in a not heavily insulated building. Bartleby, God damn it! And you see him pull a gun and point it at you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's a thing in the underworld. You dump ice water on a person. It's supposed to raise awareness. You nominate someone. Bye.
You hear the gun cock as you run away. You can see that he's just sitting there like, oh, God.
Oh, make sure you get plenty of rations from the storehouse for yourself and the others.
Thank you, master.
I should go find Wea.
Where are you?
Since we all got up and we're getting ready, I'd assume I'd probably be like getting the horses ready, making sure everything's tied down right to the carriage, checking in on Henry, just doing rounds really.
Okay. So it's Liam. It's easy enough to find where Wea is. You see Sonoy. He's at. You actually find him. The carriage got moved in by where like the stables are, and you see Sonoy kind of laying out there, not asleep, but just kind of at ease, keeping an eye on everything.
Dog. So Wea, any progress on that little project?
There's progress, but I don't think it's the kind of progress you really desire.
I mean, I don't assume it's going to be finished quite yet, but
And I'll pull out the like terribly like put together like half broken thing necklace.
One of the
Tooth
claws
piece.
just kind of like from the handle.
okay, that's a start.
I blame Asmodeus.
He's
Very distracting. That aura, the smell that he has just kind of gets in your nerves.
Oh no. I agree. I absolutely agree.
And I'm gonna like take a look and like move my body to look at Asmodeus as he's probably shooting his slingshot still.
Asmodeus is actually in the storeroom right now.
Okay, as long as he's not near me.
No. He's off in the storeroom where you kind of get the idea that he is taking inventory of what ammunition or anything that could be useful for this trip that wouldn't slow you down too
And
much.
I'll look at Liam and I'll say, you know, I may have betted the other one, but he scares me the most.
I don't know. That bone weaver that speaks to rats is pretty freaky. He's at least honest with his insanity.
You know, Asmodeus, he seems honest, but not to the point where I want to. Not to the point where he's telling me things that I want to know. He always stays distant, and I don't like someone with unquestionable powers next to us without any sort of knowledge into them.
It's definitely either we pry or we just let it be, and I don't think he's going to tell us willingly.
I just hope that he, catches a stray bullet.
Oh. Well, there's going to be a lot of lupine. I don't think his safety is guaranteed.
I don't think our safety is guaranteed.
Well, then this should be fun.
This might be one of the last nights we have together.
Oh. Well, thank you for your attempts. I think I see a good base that can be worked off of.
Liam, give me a I'd say wits plus craft.
I still have no craft.
Okay, well, this is more the wits then. You're just kind of assessing.
2, an 8, and a 9, if that
Okay.
matters.
You see where, especially with the handle, Wea was definitely made. You can see where progress definitely has been made, where there's definitely the idea of how to turn the, like, the raw materials are starting to be shaped into a base of a weapon. It's more of, you see where the part that he was still struggling with was the attaching part, attaching the talon to the handle, but you at least see where it's not hopeless. Progress is being made.
And if we can do one, we can copy it and do it to the other.
We are getting there.
All right. Walter, Noah, Atris, what are you three up to?
I do remember, I forgot who handed it to Atris, but the last time Atris went into the barracks, there was a package of letters
Yes.
that they were we were intending on searching through. We hadn't quite done that yet. I don't think we were intending on taking them. I think we were intending on reading them and leaving behind. So we would like to do that.
Okay. Yeah, I believe last time the argument, and I don't remember how you guys left it. I just remember that the argument was either take the letters and then have them in your possession for better or for worse, whether for blackmail or the pro being you have them for info and blackmail, the con being if someone finds you with them.
Blackmail.
It's Mr. Blackmail.
Yes. Or the other, but then the other question was, do you want to leave them behind? And so that way you can claim that you didn't fuck with them. But the fear with leaving them behind was knowing that Mr. Black's assistant seems to have similar aura reading abilities that Adele has, and so would potentially see that you guys were fucking with another element of his operation, albeit unknowingly. So that was the pro and con. I honestly don't remember if you guys had made a decision or what that decision was. I just remember the debate back and forth.
I'm gonna say we reached a decision. I'm gonna say, but I could be wrong.
You can also change your mind. You're you can do whatever the
You
fuck
are
you want
you.
with them.
Walter's nosy as fuck and like was actually going to go back to the captain's room anyway. So if I know you have the letter, I'm literally encouraging you to keep them.
We also did not actually
Like,
take
the
the
night
other
before.
stuff out of the captain's secret space. We just saw that there was stuff there.
Yeah, Adrian's only has whatever y'all took and gave to her when.
Yeah, that was the letters.
Yeah,
stables.
it was the letters and a couple of the envelopes. To remind everyone of what was in the little secret crawl space. There was the package of letters and envelopes. There was one tube, like one might expect for holding like a map or something.
And I remember
like
the map I did go over with Walter and PETA.
that. And then there was 2 or 3 larger, I guess you could say boxes, but not like big boxes, just in comparison to the other letters and everything else, it looked like things about yay big.
Sure. And who's in the barracks with me?
Asmodeus left looking very wet, cold, and angry as he kind of just nods at your presence and mumbles something to himself about one of these days, I swear to all that is unholy, and keeps just stomping out. And then something about I'll nominate you for this foot up your ass. I don't know, something, and just keeps going.
Sure.
Other than that, I would say you definitely have Walter said that he would be with you, so you and Walter are in the captain's quarter. Asmodeus is in the barracks. Liam and Wea are off in the stables. You actually don't know yet, unless you want to look for him, where PETA is or where Henry is, but you assume that they're around somewhere.
Okay, so we'll just say we're in the captain's cabin.
Oh, golly.
All right. Oh, I'm definitely in favor of taking these. I do not like the idea of having that Scarlet bitch, take a look at these and trace back where we've been.
Hey, she was a nice bitch. Either way, we can't leave evidence, man. Look, you've been running your hustles and we've been running ours, and I can tell you, you don't want to get traced.
No, I completely agree.
But I'm wondering what else was being moved down there. Not that I'm gonna open any boxes, mind you. Maybe I learned a lesson or two.
The less we touch with where we're not going to do anything with, the better. If we're going to start poking around, I suggest we make sure we take it with us.
And by the way, Noah, I'm sorry, I didn't hear from you. Where are you in tonight?
Well, if we were waking up, I'd be stumbling out of the carriage.
Mm-hmm. What would Noah be doing for preparation for like heading out? I'm just trying to see which group, if anyone, you're with, or if you're off doing your own thing.
I'd be checking the wagon, trying to make sure we have it fully repaired.
So then I'll say that you're kind of with Wea and helping him out at this point. Okay. Anyway, Atris and Walter continue. I just wanted to make sure where Noah was.
Shit, if we touch more things in this room, she can just see what we were saying anyway. Maybe we're made no matter what we do. Huh.
So if Mr. Black is a complete in the ass and not in a financial way.
Atris and Walter, give me a int plus occult. If you don't have occult, it's going to be diff 8. If you do have occult, it's standard diff.
Oh, I got one.
I got 3.
Okay. Atris, you especially know this. And Walter, you kind of remember this vaguely from having conversations with both Adele and with Elizabeth. You know that Auspex is very much a hit or miss. It's very much more feelings and a little bit of like getting flashes, and you have to be very good at interpreting a lot of things. It's not exactly like unless you're a very skilled practitioner of it, it's not exactly like a movie reel where you're just having where any object could be a security camera, essentially, kind of thing. But it's more of getting flashes and feelings and being able to interpret those of what's going on and things like that. So you feel fairly confident that unless this person is one of the utmost extreme users of the discipline, the specifics of what you're saying probably wouldn't be made out. However, your presence probably could if they touched the right thing and got the right response. Because, and I'll say this is especially for you, Atris, you remember from what others in the past have said, the sooner an event transpired, the easier it is for an Auspex user to read it. It becomes more difficult as you're trying to like get something off of an object that's, let's say, hundreds or thousands of years old. It's almost like the memories or stuff have like a half-life to them and they degrade over time.
I think my take stays the same. I don't think remembering this changes anything about my demeanor.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think we may be overthinking the aspect of it. She's ordering the packages. Let's just start with this and let's see what we learn.
Yeah, right. Start with them. I'm just gonna stare at this picture. I assume the captain left the picture. The photo with me and him.
He did not take it with you, them, because since they got mind wiped, they thought that they were like mid fleeing from like an incursion.
I'm taking that picture.
Cool.
And I want to at least look around this room for anything that seems heirloomish, super sentimental, or super cool and useful to a soldier.
Perception plus investigation, please. And then Atris, what are you doing?
She's gonna start looking at that specific package of letters and stuff that was handed to her earlier.
Oh, just like the pile of letters and everything?
Yeah, she'll start with that, and then depending on what else is kind of readily available, she'll kind of look around, see what's available to her.
All right, then I'll say wits plus investigation for this one.
I got a 0 on that.
All right.
How sad.
Yeah, you're looking around and you're not seeing a whole lot of heirlooms and stuff like that. I mean, I will say the one thing I will give you, even with a 0 success, is there is a picture of someone that you would assume to be his wife over by the little nightstand that's by his table.
Standard dip, I got 5 successes.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, you that, or it's a woman of some import at the very least, and
I'll grab it anyway for fun.
Yeah. She seems middle-aged but well kept together. Looks to be a woman not necessarily of high class, but at least of decent standing. It's definitely like, it doesn't look like a picture of a saloon girl or something like that. And from the, I mean, it's black and white, but from the picture, probably blonde or light colored hair. And
Interesting.
It just seems to be a woman of some import kept by his bedside. But beyond that, between being focused on what you have to do and what needs to be done, what has been done, and the picture of the two of you and your old, I'll say you spend more time looking over the picture that he left behind. And because it's not just you and him, it's like your old regiment is all there. So there's a lot of faces, most of whom did not survive, to the best of your knowledge. As a matter of fact, the fact that he did was kind of a surprise, because given the Battle of the Alamo, not most of the people who fought there on the American side did so well. Atris, you said you got 5 successes?
Yes.
Okay. You don't still have the dice, what numbers they were, do you?
It was 2 6s, a 7, an 8, and a 9.
Okay. The 9 will get you something a little bit extra. It's a bunch of names, and some of them are, most of these are just initials. It looks like they're purposely kept very basic, just in case they fell into the wrong hands. That it could be a lot of things. It's a lot more locations than anything else because they have to know where the letters are going to. You do see one letter for San Miguel Mission. Perks up. You do see a couple letters addressed to the Golden Goose, but not enough where you get the idea that this wasn't like a one-to-one, like straight line mail chain of just to and from the Golden Goose. It kind of seems like a network of things that was going on.
But at least some, while indirect, connection between Golden Goose and San Miguel.
Correct. See, and let me see for the 9. Let me just look up on my notes real quick of what that will get you as far as because most of it is local town. Some of the city, you're not very familiar with this area, given that you're more
Not
from
familiar.
Constantinople and everything. But
I heard Pants on the Noble. I'm like, yeah, that's a place.
yeah, you've heard of Pants on the Noble. There's a couple of letters to New York as well. Boston, Massachusetts. 90% of them seem to be local based, of a couple of them to and from Mexico, based on just the names of the places, but a large majority of them seem to be from Texas. And I will say one that stands out with a 9. It's a small town just south of the Texan border into Mexico. And there's the name of the city is, checking notes. Sorry, just having checked my notes real quick.
Is it called Istanbul? It's like Istanbul, but newer.
No.
This no check break brought to you by Fleet
Yeah, this is actually just going to be just south of Laredo, Texas. And you just see the word CB, care of Bishop. Now, with a 9, I'm going to give you this roll. Give me a... You can either roll wits plus occult or wits plus politics.
Damn, it's gonna have to be cold because I got nothing in politics.
Okay.
9 and a 10. 8. 3 successes.
Okay. Bishop could be a name. You've heard of, especially Americans, with the name Bishop. However, you also know that Bishop is a title for the Sabbat basically their equivalent of a prince. So there's a Hispanic town on there, and with the name Bishop, so it could be the bishop of that town or area. CB reminds you of, I'll say this is the 9 that you got, and then the 3 success. Wea mentioned running into someone on his solo excursion to Mexico. Someone that I forget if Atris specifically ran into this person with the group, but the name of Cuthbert Beckett, CB, would match those initials.
I don't believe she did. I think that was right after everything kind of went down at the at Sardo's, if that's
Okay.
where it was.
But you at least remember Wea mentioning this person. And again, there's no guarantee unless you decide to open the letter and then get more context. However, the initials at least match, and it speaks to the area that Wea had traveled to when he was flying solo, literally. With 3 successes, you also ascertain one of 2 things. Either Mr. Black is extremely well connected, which is still possible. That's one of the things that makes elder vampires kind of terrifying, is they've been around long enough. I mean, hell, your clan has informants, allies, contacts around the world.
Yep.
You know, so that's very possible. And or if some enterprising person got in on the ground floor of being the main source of delivering mail specifically for Kindred, their allies, and things like that, and got paid for that or a piece of that, that would be a pretty lucrative business as well, especially if there was some guarantees or protections of the mail reaching its destination. So that's another possibility. So either these are all personal contacts or even indirect contacts of Mr. Black personally, or he is facilitating communications for Kindred throughout this area and beyond.
Oh my God, just like NordVPN could.
Yes.
Sponsor in the
Oh
link below.
my god.
If only we had that sponsor.
Please sponsor us, somebody.
All right. Sponsor me, senpai.
Okay, I think I got all that. Was there anything else?
I'd say that's it with the role you got. So it's one of those things of, again, unless you start opening the mail more and like really digging in, that's about all you can just ascertain from. You get the idea that most of these are intentionally vague. And you get the idea that the couriers for these know where they're going, where the courier doesn't need a whole lot of information on the letter because they're familiar with the destination. But it's one of those things that without more, you just have your suspicions of either a little column A, little column B, or one or the other of either Mr. Black has a shit ton more contacts than you would even have thought, or he's facilitating connections between other people and there's some benefit for him, whether that be financially or you're well enough connected and the Badr Hakim are not unfamiliar with the biggest payment of kindred to other kindred, or favors to be paid back at a later date. The currency of boons, both given and received, is actually highly regulated in more organized vampire society. Like, you know for a fact that the Badr Hakim, way back in your home base in Alamut, have a bingo book of thousands of regulations of who owes them favors, who they owe favors to, what level of favor it is. It is
I got 069.
it's one of the biggest currencies between vampires.
Right. She'll turn to Walter. Most of these are just names of people, initials, addresses. But it looks like there's lots of internet contact between the Golden Goose and San Miguel. There's one letter in particular I see. Looks like it's addressed to a small town. I should have known small. It's a town in Lorenzo, Texas. Seaweed care of Bishop. I know Wea mentioned you went to Mexico recently when we were on a train. You mentioned someone named Beckett. I don't know if that has anything to do with him, but I'll have to ask him that later. But definitely,
Do you Beckett?
I mean, it's that CV, so I have no idea unless we want to open up the letter.
Hell yeah, we want to open the letter. Shit, I'll open it right now. Wait, I can't. Well, you could. Maybe
You
Wea.
could open it. You have that ability.
Wait, maybe Wea shouldn't. Maybe he'd be offended if we opened it.
Would you like to wait until Wei is here before we opened it?
He should know about this. Let's go find
Well,
him. I didn't find
alright.
much in here anyway.
All right, let's go to find Wea. As we're walking, I would say I'll give my theories. Definitely, if Mr. Black is well connected, or there's someone who's definitely ferrying letters for profits, we definitely do that all the time back at home.
I know them fancy types like to act like they know everyone, but all these different places you're talking about, he's going to and from. I don't think that man spends that much time writing. Is he's moving a lot of information around. I bet a few people would kill to know that. Maybe it gives us a bargaining chip.
It would definitely be nice to have something over Mr. Black instead of, having his, nice assistant and himself scaring us all the time.
All right. Liam's off somewhere. Noah and Wea.
Yes.
So and Liam, where did you go off to?
Oh, I was mostly just checking on the dagger, but after that, I kind of just went off to go find Henry because mostly I think he can actually help me finish putting it together.
Okay. We'll get to that. So Noah, Wea, I'll say give me a wits plus craft roll, please. If you don't have craft, it's difficulty 8. If you do have craft, it's standard difficulty.
1 success. What up? Rolled an 8.
It's all you need.
Oh yeah.
2 successes.
Nice. Between the two of you, you kind of assess some of the damage from to the chariot. And using the tools that were left behind, you kind of continue to help make sure that any damages that could lead to actual like a decrease in performance or mobility or protection are fixed. You definitely think it's definitely a patch job, but it's enough to like fix some of the damages. You would have to take it to someone that is much more skilled in metal and woodworking in order to like for cosmetic stuff and for like permanent solution, but you get an idea that at least you patched it up enough. So I will say for those who have been keeping track, the chariot is at full health. What dings and scratches and scrapes are there are mostly superficial blemishes and can be buffed out later.
They're so official, they're superficial.
as you two, you guys have a little bit of time if there's anything you two want to discuss amongst yourselves. If not, then we would jump to Atris and Walter joining you.
I'm good. I got nothing to talk about at the moment.
Okay. Men, a few words. All right. So as you two are working and kind of helping to gather the supplies and stuff like that, you see Atris and Walter walking up to you two.
I'm making a beeline for Wea too. Like I'm looking right at you. Can't hear you though.
Man of very few words.
Said, what's going on, gentlemen? I can feel your stare from across the way.
Oh,
Atris the
Got something
gentleman.
might interest you.
Gentlemen.
Okay,
I've
she
never
got
been-
something might
Oh,
interest
I'm sorry, gentlemen and lady.
I'm not proper enough to be a gentleman. But anyways, we're going through these letters here, and it seems this one here may be of interest. You mentioned you were recent trip in to Mexico. You talked to someone named Beckett. I don't know if this is him, but there's a letter with a town from down south near the border, and a CB on here with the Karen Bishop on it. If you wanted to look at it, she's gonna hand way at the.
That might be his initials.
I will take the letter from her hand. Sorry, and I will immediately look at it, and then if I can't figure out like the writing or any sort of symbolization, I will slice it open and I will read that. I want to know what's inside.
Okay.
Feral claws. Now a letter opener.
Right.
Right.
So rip it up.
That's worth the blood point. Go ahead and roll a straight perception.
Ooh.
And actually, no, sorry, wits plus perception. No, sorry, no. Perception plus alertness, and this is for smell.
Oh, okay. I'm good at these things.
And just so I'm aware, Noah's not in this room, right?
No, you're not in a room. You're outside, like working on.
Carriage.
The two of them were like by the stables.
Oh,
by
you
the
did
carriage.
in the
So,
stable.
so Noah is around.
I heard Barrick. I don't know why. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
Noah. You see Noah kind of like half under the carriage, and you hear him kind of fumbling around with some tools and stuff as you see his legs kind of poking out from under there.
So yeah, altogether it was a 1. The rolls were really up and down.
Okay. There's something about the smell of the envelope that is familiar to you. You just can't really place a finger on where you've smelt it before. But it's right there on the tip of your nose, I guess. But you can't quite place it.
I figure out who dealt it.
Yes.
Sorry.
What's the letter say?
You open up the letter. I can send you a hard copy or a digital copy of it in a little bit.
Wait for the U.S. mail.
Yes.
Pony Express, let's go.
Right. The writing is not overly the handwriting is not overly fancy, but there is a steady, elegant hand to it. It says as per in summary, it's basically saying received your request as per through my valet. Unfortunately, at this time, I cannot spare many resources to an endeavor that I feel would not be bearing much fruit, though I do find your pursuits intriguing. bring me more evidence and we can rediscuss terms. That being said, in payment of a favor long owed, I do have the blueprints or the plan. It wouldn't be blueprints. It would be I do have the plans as you request as part of your request, and hope that they aid you in your pursuits. And then I'm going to send in chat something to Walter. I just had a quick question and I don't want to have to dig through my notes right at this second.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
There's your answer. No, he hasn't sent me anything yet.
Yes, I have. And then it's just signed Mr. B on there. And then there is a postscript saying, please give Louise my regards.
And I'll just kind of like stare at it for a moment, and I'll say, this was a letter from Mr. Black to Beckett, explaining that he needed more proof before he do some sort of investment, and that he awaits proof, and that he's holding something for him, or like he has something for him.
To correct, it was something that was sent along. You guys would maybe have to look and see if it's still in that hideaway, but he did say something about plans being sent along with this letter.
It says that plans were sent along with this letter. Maybe we should, if we didn't find anything, we should really tear that place upside down. Something was sent with this letter that might be important.
Yeah. We want to go in. I'm all for it.
I'm talking about flipping this place upside down, like everything. This is important. If this is from Beckett to Mr. Black, this is a connection that we need.
From Mr. Black to Beckett.
Yeah, that one. Whichever one it is. It's
We've
hard
lost.
with this fancy writing is really hard to determine sometimes.
English is a
Asmodeus
stupid
near
language
us?
anyway.
Is Asmodeus in earshot? Is he near us?
Give me a perception check.
Fuck me. Well, all right, I'll do that.
I mean, that's gonna be
And-
difficult. You're all the way in Georgia, man. Like, at least buy me dinner first.
Zoom.
I have bought you dinner, but not
Not
for
recently.
a long time.
Right.
Not for a long time.
You can't
After
rest
that.
on past laurels, my friend.
Too long. I got 3 successes. No, 4. I got 4
Okay.
successes.
You're looking around. You don't see Asmodeus anywhere. And then you hear a clang coming from the storehouse, which is a good,
That's like in the center.
like a good 30, 40 feet away from where you guys are.
Oh shit.
Um,
Okay, I'll mark that visually, and I'm just gonna say a little quieter than Walter might normally.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit. Maybe we threw our lot in with the wrong dude. This dude's working with Beckett. Beckett's onto some interesting things. This guy's making things happen in this area.
Remember, he's pretty much the Pembroke that didn't hire us. So imagine everything Pembroke has, Mr. Black probably has access to as well.
But he didn't hire us, and he knew we were here before Pembroke probably did.
I just want to know
Got a
what
point.
Beckett and him have tied together. If Beckett is related, it is something old, archaeological, It comes-
Archaeological?
Yeah, thank you, Liam. That's the one I'm talking about. But it's important.
Archaeological.
Yes, it's important. Beckett would not send something like this if he really didn't need the help. He is a very devoted person to his craft.
To be fair,
Just
Liam doesn't know why he
in it.
yelled that from across the actual outpost because he's not there. He just said archaeological.
So let's go inside that captain's area, and we're gonna flip this place upside down.
All right.
We can't leave. We can't. If we're gonna put our hands on a lot of things and really look at them, we need to take them out with us.
Yeah.
If we're just gonna smash and grab everything, we already did with the letters. We should just get it out of there.
Yeah,
We don't want it found later.
that's right.
Perhaps in the end, Noah would be able to burn this place down anyway. Maybe we can use that to cover our tracks.
I don't know if Noah's near me, but I'm gonna look at Noah and I'm gonna say, Noah, we need things destroyed and places turned upside down. I'm recruiting your help.
I thought Bartleby was the expert of this.
Well, I thought your shovel would be very helpful in breaking things.
Oh, I can break things. I
Well,
hold a
then let's
fist up.
go. And then I'm gonna take the note and I'm gonna fold it up and put it in my in one of the my horse's saddlebag, and I'm gonna make a beeline for the inside of the captain's quarters. I'm gonna like roll up my sleeves, and I am determined to fuck this place up.
All right. You guys see Bartleby walking out of the storage area, and you hear Asmodeus calling from within, "Looking fancy there!" And Bartleby, "Shut up!" And you see Bartleby in patches of a spare cavalry uniform
Oh my.
and a rag trying to dry his hair. And he just looks at the group of you that are walking out and goes, "Not a single word," and just keeps on walking.
Are his
by.
boots squeaking when he takes steps?
They are. You hear the little.
I will mimic the squeaking sound as I walk away.
He just gives you one of these as he's walking. He's like, "You're not his master. Like, he doesn't have to be respectful to you."
Luckily, he wouldn't flip me off, anyways.
Yeah.
The term of
Unless you
endearment.
expressly
or
told him he
withdraw.
couldn't. You've kind of given him a lot of leash. So anyway, we're gonna cut to we'll get back to that. We cut to Liam. You found Henry. He wasn't trying to hide or anything else. You see him up on one of the watchtowers. And you had gone up there. Conversation began. By the way, what is that one? If you're looking for something and it's an old place and you're digging for it, what kind of pursuit is that?
Trivial.
No. It's giving you an in to shout archaeological and make it make sense in context.
Oh, archaeological.
There you go.
Oh my. What a long game.
Wow.
To fit that back.
We'll fix it in
Sure, I
post.
thought
It's
it was
okay.
grave robbing.
Way to go, Danny. We're finishing each other's.
Sandwiches.
Yes. Anyway, you see Henry up there.
Oh, well. I've been meaning to speak to you about this. I know I showed you these earlier, but Wei has made some headway in making one of these into a formidable weapon. I just thought with your talents, you might do a bit better in finishing it off, and possibly we can make the second.
Remind me if Henry was aware that you had stolen these.
Yes, he was, because I
Okay.
did show him.
Okay.
I believe he
remember
sounded
that.
judgy when last he.
Yes.
Like you
As,
play with
as
this.
many of your allies do about most of the shit the Spurs
He
do.
was a little judgy, but then he was a little excited because I showed him the engravings.
Right.
Are you doing? Ooh, shiny.
Right.
Pretty much.
Asmodeus, not Asmodeus, Henry looks at him and he kind of adjusts his glasses and he goes, "Well, Wea certainly tried. And I think I see the direction that he was going with this. Who was helping him with this?
The trigger happy loudmouth one.
Should I be insulted that you came to him before you came to me?
You were somewhat indisposed.
Right, but if your hunting dog is indisposed, you don't go to the local brothel. It's still one of those things of...
If I need something to bite, I just need something to bite. It's fine. Besides, I did what I was supposed to do, and I took my hunting dog to the vet, and I got him treated properly.
Well, as much as I am a horrid thought of having Asmodeus's sloppy seconds, I will see what I can do with this. If you want,
No, I
you
mean,
can
what I'm referring to is that, we needed you to recover a bit more quickly, and I may have, unbeknownst to everyone else, taken certain liberties to get you to wake up.
Right. Well, I'm awake, so I might as well do something. Idle hands, after all.
God damn it.
So, and I think I have something. Call it a thank you and apology. I hate having red in my ledger. And he pulls out a little leather bag. It's only about yay big. Like, it looks like a little tiny leather bag with a leather cord wrapped around it. And he opens it up and he shows it to you. And inside there seems to be a very fine, almost crystalline powder to it.
You shouldn't have?
I believe you remember the crystals that were growing naturally in San Miguel.
Oh, I do.
I had been doing
one, actually, the larger ones.
Before my incarceration. I had done some experimentation with it, and as your friend Josephine seems to have found, they seem to have something of an ability to be a catalyst for certain energies or magic. What you put into them, they amplify and make better. If these markings, and he refers to the scratches and the markings on the talons themselves, are any indication, can't promise anything. Perhaps if we incorporate this into the design, it might help if there's any latent ability in these other than to be sharp. It might help bring it forward.
Well, what would you suggest? That we melt something down with these crystals inside of it and try and cast the horns around the actual talons? Do we even
Something
have
like,
that ability here?
The antler that you have here, in order for the handle to be, and he takes out one of his guns and he shows the wooden handle on the gun, and he goes, you need pins in order to keep this together. I'm suggesting that we cast pins, which would be easy enough to do. That doesn't take a great amount of skill as long as you can get the metal hot enough. If we then sprinkle some of this powder in there, maybe the connection to the claw, the talon, if there's anything there, it might be something of a catalyst for it.
Well, there's quite a bit of weaponry and supplies in that center storage unit. I would assume that they've got something around here that could repair some of their weapons. Pins would probably be likely found around here.
Well, shall we give it a try before we leave?
Oh, yes. I definitely want at least 2 of these ready to go.
So, Liam, I will say you have options here. You can either roll a crafting roll at a lower difficulty with Henry guiding and helping. He will also be taking care of any of the fire elements of this. Or you both can roll. It'll be at a higher difficulty, but you'll have a second set of dice rolling.
See, my thing is, since I don't have craft, I think I would be having a higher difficulty if I do the craft roll anyways.
And you do remember from memory that Henry made his own guns. Like he forged and made them himself.
Yes, I think having a bigger dice pool would actually be better.
Okay, fair enough. So then you have nothing in craft, correct?
Nope.
Cool. So this is going to be difficulty 8 for you.
So craft and what else? Or am I just getting one craft die?
This
to
is
roll?
going to be, I will say I will let you roll either wits or dex. Dex will be for the physical manipulation of the project itself. Wits will be more of a sussing out how best to do it.
But Dex means I get to apply my celerity dice, right?
That's how Dex works.
Then Dex it is.
All right.
Okay, be nice, be nice, be nice. Okay, I got 3.
Okay. He got 6 successes.
That's better.
So you get the idea that mentally speaking, he's doing a lot of the heavy lifting on this. However, there is 1 or 2 times where you make a suggestion. No, why don't we try this? And he goes, that might actually work. And you see him packing some dirt down and then going and standing far away. You see him melt down some probably some pretty easy metal, nothing really like strong, but enough to make the pins. And you see him pour it in.
Now, is he doing this with fire or is he like using demonic fire?
He's doing this with normal fire.
Okay, just curious.
And
Just out of
see-
curiosity, would we have had nails in that supply to repair the wagon? Could we not
Yes,
just heat?
yes.
So a hot nail would work.
Exactly, 1000%. All right, Liam, make one more roll for me. Same roll.
I'm gonna use all of my very expensive pretty dice. 1 metal, 1 Chad, 1 clear resin, and 1 opal.
May the Chad be with you.
And also with you.
Okay,
feel
well,
it.
the Chad dice itself rolled a 10. Okay, so I only got 2 more successes on that.
He got a whole bunch of 1s, but luckily a whole bunch of 10s too. So luckily that was 2 successes. So that's 4 successes. So he's now made the pins and he sprinkled some of the powder in there while the metal was cooling and solidified. Now comes to creating the handle for these things. And there's 1 or 2 times where you see him using a tool to try and drill the hole in there, and 1 or 2 times it slips and he's like, oh fuck, sorry, and he continues. He's
Why
made
do they always apologize to me for cursing?
more. If you ever meet my grandfather, you'll understand old habits.
Well, if you'd like, I can whip you every time you do it.
One more roll.
Henry says this out loud.
Yes.
Yeah. Roll, damn it.
Ooh, okay, 3.
And he got 3, so a little bit better. And you have one of them and then the other, you have them 2 made where between the pins, the antler handle, and then the leather to help bind the attachment, you have it. Give me a perception plus awareness. This is going to be at a higher difficulty for you because it's going to be difficulty 8 because of your magical resistance. It kind of interferes with the mojo.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Chad dice. It's my only success, but it's a 9.
All right. You swear for a second in the moonlight, or as you're turning them, and they seem sturdy. Like you give them a quick, like, couple of test swishes and stuff like that. The blade seems firmly affixed to the handle. All in all, they're more like a little bit longer than Bowie knives. Like these are some, because the claws aren't small in the handle to keep it balanced. But you swear you see a little faint pale blue glimmer across some of the runes carved into the talon itself. But as soon as you think you catch a glimpse of it, it disappears and you try to keep moving and you don't see it happen again. But you swear that you felt a little tingle of something.
Ooh. Oh. I must thank the craftsman.
You're welcome.
But as a thank you, I'm going to give him the last talon that wasn't utilized or anything.
He takes and goes, spoils of the adventure, I suppose. I will definitely enjoy studying this at a later time.
Just don't show our little werewolf friend. He might not be too keen.
No, I do not think he would appreciate that. And you actually look out over the tower and you actually see PETA beyond the wall. In human form, but still kind of looking around, looking at the ground, kind of looking out on the horizon. He seems to be kind of surveying the area.
And I'm just going to, not loud, but I'm aware that his hearing is more sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of in a moment, go, Psst, PETA, we're going to be loading up soon to leave.
He looks up and he kind of gives you a gesture to let you know that he understands.
Henry, I have a rather fun gift to give now, thanks to you, and one for myself. So I'm not sure what the other, but I'm not sure what the others are doing quite yet. But what I was referring to, and you seem to have missed the mark entirely, was that in order to wake you up, I had to give you a little taste of what we live off of.
Well, I don't feel any different. But if it worked, I guess I won't look a gift horse in the mouth, so thank you.
Can I try something a little, like, subtle?
Sure, you can attempt to.
So, since my Vitae is currently in him, I'm wondering if I can kind of do like a, almost summoning him, but without actually calling him, just see if I could draw him to me a little bit. I'll roll the summoning and see if it works. I just want to do like a little bit, see if I can get like a pull on him.
Okay. Go ahead and I'm gonna make you make two different rolls. So what's the roll for the summoning?
Charisma and subterfuge.
Versus
difficulty just ranges from 4 to 8 depending on presence being used on them before, which we established it has been.
okay. How many times?
Well, now twice, because once
Okay.
in general.
So I'll say standard difficulty then at this point.
Two, 3, 4, -1. So 3 successes.
Okay. With 3 successes, that allows you to make the second roll. This is a perception plus awareness roll.
Ooh, 4.
4 successes. Okay. There's a couple of factors in this. One, you're summoning someone who's literally 5 inches away from you. So it's one of those things of the spell ends once it takes effect. You summon him to come closer to you and he's there. So it's very much a blip. However, in that blip, it is you definitely felt like there was something there, but it is hard to ascertain. He's definitely not a ghoul because you would have to even in the best of circumstances, you would have to give him Vitae 3 nights in a row. But as you said, you have used presence on him in the past too. So it's a little hard to ascertain, is it the Vitae or is it because you've used mental abilities on him already? But you definitely feel like there was some kind of tether there.
Well, I got all I need to know for the evening. I'll let you prep. But as I said, I have a gift to give. And I'm going to superhero jump off into the center area.
Go ahead and make a Dex plus Athletics roll.
We all know how this is gonna end.
Difficulty
There's a
is
water
7.
tower like thing in the center
Yeah.
of this. It was a matter of time.
Something water tower. Something.
If at first you don't succeed,
Jump off the building again.
Okay, this is significantly better. I've got a 9, 3 10s, and a 1. So I'm going to reroll the 10s. Let's just see what the hell happens to those.
I almost want you to fail.
I know, part of me does too.
Got to keep the continuity.
Oh no, this is getting way better.
Oh no, it's better.
Oh no, yeah, it's actually better. Okay, 1,
Oh,
2,
no.
3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 successes.
Hey, wow.
That's after the 1 takes the 1 away.
cool. So with all those successes, you only take 2 bashing, which you can try to soak. Because it's still, regardless of how many successes, you aren't defying gravity. You're still jumping off of a 30-foot tall tower.
I bet he
Straight
looks.
down onto hard rock and snow.
So am I trying to? Did I take 2 or am I taking 1 because it's halved?
2 was halved. It normally
Okay.
would have been.
I'm fine.
So you definitely feel the power of the impact on your hand and knee as you do the superhero landing, but you're able to, without even wincing, shake it off and just internally go, but not show it on the face and keep walking.
Just one slight eye roll, like.
Yes, exactly. All right. Jumping back to Atris, Walter, Wea, and Noah. You make your way back to the captain's quarters.
Making our way back to the captain's quarters.
Making our way.
What do you do once you're there?
I'm going to remind everyone as we walk in, kind of loudly, like, look, I think Red, Mr. Black's Red. I think if she comes by here again, they can tell we were here in some fashion. So if we're going to start inspecting and grabbing things, take them out with you, or make sure they don't stay one way or the other.
I think what he means is get all the stuff worth money, because we're gonna turn the rest of it into ashes.
Well, shit, what if we wanted to come back here later? I don't know. Well, not that much later, just, in the next week or something.
So either take it with us or set it on fire when we're done.
I agree when we're done with the fort, but we don't have to set it on fire now.
Yeah, all right, y'all make sense. Fuck it.
And then with that, I'm gonna take the main table or the main desk and I'm gonna flip that shit over.
Okay, give me a
I just
strength
imagine it in
check.
slow
Straight
motion,
strength.
just
Just
What-
straight strength.
Straight strength. 1 success.
You meant it to look a lot cooler of like a full flipping. This is a rather solid, ornate, like desk that he had. You get the idea that this might have been a gift or something like that. So you kind of sit there and it is a sturdy desk with a lot of drawers and compartments, even the secret compartment. So instead of a full flip, it's kind of one of those thud as you kind of just like tilt it and gravity does the rest and it slams into the floor and you see a little bit of a crack on some of the boards of the floor and a little bit of splintering of the wood as the weight of this desk hitting the floor kind of breaks it a little bit.
Oh,
I will at least look under the desk. Was there anything there? Is it just a floor?
There's a floor.
Amazing.
uh,
I'm gonna walk up to the desk
Mm-hmm.
and punch for destruction.
Okay. Roll strength.
Oh no.
Alrighty.
And don't forget to add your
Absolutely.
potence die.
While this is happening, Ancients will be kind of
Oh, you're
looking
right.
around.
I'm gonna need extra die.
Break
Yeah.
Stuff by Limp Bizkit starts playing.
Yeah.
Is it just
Here we
straight
gotta look at-
strength?
Actually, first it's going to be Dex plus melee.
See
Okay.
if you can hit. It's gonna be so funny to miss.
Not a chance.
Although if you miss and hit me, I swear to God.
That'd be a botch.
Yeah.
I got 5 to hit.
Cool. So now it's your strength and potence plus 4 dice.
Okay, so I'm still gonna need more dice. Alright, let's do it. Six.
Yeah. You sit there and just full on. Where did you want to hit the desk?
You know, I was thinking the middle, but I don't think that the middle has as much mass as the drawers. So I'm gonna aim for the drawer section.
Are you punching just down into it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So from what would be the front of the desk and the drawers being on the other side of the front of the desk as the person sits behind it, you get through one of the drawers by punching through the front of the desk where there isn't a door. And there's now a pretty decent sized hole in one of the drawers as your fist just goes completely through it. And you're looking, this is an ornately carved hardwood desk, and you just completely punched through it.
Here's Noah.
I look down at my fist. I've been waiting for so long for this one.
So I mean, fuck this furniture in particular.
Yeah, I'm just gonna rip it to pieces with the help of Noah.
All right, you guys tag team this desk as
Fuck that desk.
as Walter and Atris. You're
Fuck
just
that
watching
couch,
these guys demolish this desk.
Yeah, when he says fuck that couch too, I'm gonna kick the couch.
Yeah, that's the way to the secret entrance.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna like double high five Noah like midair as
You
we
kick
break
the
this.
couch, and some of it, your foot kind of goes through the material a little bit. And you see the trap door that's under there that does lead to the little subcrawl.
Oh shit! Oh,
I mean,
found
you knew it was there.
Oh, did I?
That's where you guys found all the letters and everything.
Oh, where
I wasn't
Whale
there
wasn't there.
actually.
Oh yeah.
So it's a surprise. Hey guys, I found a passage.
Yeah, you Christopher Columbus, you rediscover something that's already there.
that was going to be my next question, was where the documents were, so we can never mind. Let's just just start going in and start pulling shit out.
Yeah, I'm gonna just start searching.
All right. So the 4 of you give me a perception plus investigation roll.
Really? Last time I rolled this, I rolled 2 ones, which canceled my 2 successes. Literally the same thing just happened.
3 successes.
I got 4.
I cannot search this fucking room.
Right? There's some kind of barrier that is creating just this wall of confusion for Walter. in this
It's
room.
dampening my strength.
Damn you, empathy. All right, Atris, how many successes?
3.
3. Wea,
I got 4.
4. Noah.
I'm sorry, what was the roll?
Perception,
was
investigation.
investigation. Perceptigate.
Oh,
please.
okay.
So we can actually investigate and not just destroy everything.
I just grab shit.
Right, you guys are just kind of being in the moment and like trashing this captain's quarters,
It's just like the office, or no, Office Space. That's the movie name.
right?
I got 5.
Motherfucker.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Breaking the copier.
Yeah.
As you're going through, I mean, the desk itself, what's left of it, everything else that was in there is pretty mundane. Like it was all letterhead and parchment. There's a nice ink and quill set that was on top of the desk and is now splattered on the floor. There was a wax seal that you got was the captain's for sending letters. You do get that there may be, if you want to forge something that might be interesting to do. A couple of letters that seem to be official telegrams and things like that from the army, basically just giving commands. Wea, one that definitely, I'll say with your successes, that kind of is a twinge of being upset. There was orders that came through for the soldiers to shoot any and all buffalo that came through the area.
Monsters, savages.
Well, you get the you have seen and heard of this being done before, of the army intentionally killing them off, knowing that they're a huge food and resource for indigenous people, and would just murder them, like kill these things off in the hundreds to thin the numbers and just leave them out to rot, essentially. It was a not great tactic, but then again, most of what the army did to the native people was not great.
Not making this better for Wea.
Right.
Is that picture of Walter among this mess, or does
Nope.
Walter already have it?
You see that is missing. That is no longer in the building. Well,
Okay, good.
it
Just wanna
is,
make
but
sure.
not obviously where it is.
It's in my like rucksack or whatever.
Yeah.
It's my bag.
Did you keep the frame or just the picture? Did you fold up the photograph?
I pocketed the whole frame because I was just walking. For now, I don't have a reason to do otherwise.
Fair enough. So yeah, the desk really doesn't, it seems like what was secret in the desk was already discovered the first go around, of the compartment that had the pistol, the letter, and the silver bullets, which you guys already emptied out of there. So the rest of it's just a nice desk and things that you would expect to be in a US cavalry captain's personal desk. In the crawl space, the rest of the room, again, most of the filing cabinets, it is all maps of like land surveys and stuff like that of the surrounding area. It is telegrams back and forth. They are letters from subordinates, from other higher ups, just all army orders and updates and things like that. In the crawl space, I'll say, especially Noah, again, the Nosferatu being almost biologically good at sniffing out secrets and things that people want. You get the idea that the room itself being a secret room, there's not a secret compartment in the secret room. Like, it's all, the fact that this crawl space exists is already the secret part of everything. Again, you kind of get the idea that these guys were novices, as far as, for the most part, especially from the interrogation, you got the idea that this captain was on the up and up, as far as most of what he did, he wasn't ashamed of, so he didn't feel the need to hide things. So he's not very well versed in secrets and stuff like that, of that nature. I'll say with that high roll, it's more of looking through what you guys have already found, and you see one of the manila envelopes that's there having the same handwriting that matches the letter that you guys found.
This is it. I think we found something. I'll pull it out and I'll give it a good look over.
Okay. Do you open it up?
Hell yeah, I opened it up.
Okay.
Poison sprays in my face.
You see what looks like the plans for a bank. Do you speak Spanish at all?
Nope, not a word.
But you're not there.
Atreus speaks Spanish.
Okay. So Atreus, you get all the plans and notes on these plans are actually written in Spanish. It is Hispanic Spanish, not Castilian Spanish. So you get the idea that this is probably, which makes sense that if this city that Beckett is at is in Mexico, it makes logical sense.
Yeah.
However, how many go ahead and give me this is going to be an int plus academics roll.
All right. 2. Got 3 with the reroll. Another reroll. 5 successes.
Okay. You look at this, and this is about 5 or 6 different pieces of paper. The front one is very clear plan. I'd say the first 2 are very clear plans. One is for the outside, like the facade, and then the other one is an aerial view of just the layout of the bank. Seems pretty cut and dry. But then you look at the rest and you see like what looks like probably something that indicates like a staircase, and they look like partially done plans that seem incomplete. And you notice on those back about 4 pages, the ones that seem incomplete, the Spanish shifts from being Hispanic Spanish to Castilian Spanish. You notice slight differences in it. The handwriting also seems different. With that many successes, I'll also say those 4 back pages seem older and a little bit more damaged, as a matter of fact. And there is a note inside this envelope as well. And in English, it says, I believe 1 or 2 of the documents could not, it says, could not find 1 or 2 pages. They may be lost. I hope this still finds use for you. And it's initialed Mr. B at the bottom of it. Go ahead and give me a perception plus enigma roll. And really, any of you that are kind of overlooking this can make this roll as well.
That include me?
At the very beginning of my character creation, took 2 in Enigma, and I've never had to use it.
Seriously, this is my first time using it.
I was sitting here thinking like, wow, I forgot what Enigma does. Should I get that? Are they saying this out loud? Can Walter roll?
I mean, this is just a perception thing. So anyone who's looking at Atreus doing this
Would be reading out loud whatever the Spanish part of the note is, especially if it has Mr. B at the very end.
I do understand spoken Spanish.
The note that's in there is in English. The notes on the paperwork of the 6 different pages is all in Spanish. The first 2 that are the outward facade and then the aerial view of the layout of the rooms and stuff is in Hispanic Spanish. The last 4 pages that seem like unfinished blueprints to something or plans to something.
For the majority
else.
of it is plans and notes, but the last part is the English note from Mr. Black.
Yes, which is on a separate little slip of paper.
Gotcha. My bad. I'll still read it out loud for Walter, because you know he's not gonna.
If I have no Enigma, is my DC 7 or 8?
It's actually going to be 9.
Oh, well, I have 1 success.
Perfect. If
Me
you
as
have
well.
enigmas, it's still difficulty 7. 3 successes for Noah. How many successes for Atris?
It was 2.
2. All right. And how many successes for Wea?
1.
All right. Walter and Wea, you're kind of the last to notice this. Noah, you kind of see it first with 3 successes. As Atris is holding it, I'm going to say that one of you just thought to bring an oil lantern and kind of leave it up on the stairs. Because there are only 4 steps to get down into this crawl space. It's not super deep or anything like that. Like if you're standing down there, your head is like just barely reaching up, like the top of your head is just barely reaching above the floorboards. You hold it up and you start to notice that the paper is somewhat see-through for the last 4 pages. And you notice that there seems to be something if you hold them together and hold them up to the light. The incomplete parts start to actually kind of fill in together. Now, there is a large section of it that seems to be missing, and you get the idea that those missing pages that Mr. Black didn't have access to would probably fill in that spot. But you get the idea through, I'll say, Atris and Noah, you get this most because of the successes, that in the vault of the bank, there is a old, because again, with looking at the age of this and that it's in Castilian Spanish, and you do know that a lot of Mexico was owned by Spain before Mexico took its independence. There is supposedly an old staircase and dumbwaiter, a combination of the two, that lead down underneath the bank to something where there are paths and stuff that have been carved under there, leading to something that you get the idea that whatever this is leading to might be something that Beckett is looking. This has something to do with what Beckett is looking for, and this is what you notice.
If Noah doesn't do it himself, Atris would is like to try and arrange the paper to see if she can get it to match up to something or anything.
Yeah, I'll say, Noah, you can either aid with this, or you can either both roll, or Atris can roll with a lower difficulty with your help. You are muted though, Noah.
I'll lower his difficulty.
Okay, Atris. I would say normally this would be difficulty 8, but because of Noah's help, it's going to be standard diff.
All right, and what's the roll?
This is going to be wits plus, I'm going to say still enigmas, because it's still you trying to figure out, because it's not like the pages are numbered or anything like that where, oh, this is obviously the first page, second page, third page.
Jeez. 1 success.
Okay. It takes you, I will say the 4 of you are down here for the better part of an hour. And it's trying to play around with the order of the pages and also which way to turn them. Finally, you get it where it lines up, where you get the entrance that leads down. You get the idea that there's a dumbwaiter that leads you part of the way, and then stairs that take you the last half. Mention of 1 or 2 security measures on there, including a fail-safe that if someone were to push or pull the right kind of lever at the top level, the dumbwaiter would crash down, taking out the stairs with it.
Oh, fascinating.
And then a little bit of the tunnel system once you hit the bottom level. But the end part, the second half of the map, is what seems to be missing because of the missing pages that Mr. Black didn't have.
So it just looks like.
For the player's sake, I will give you a hard copy of the letter that Mr. Black was sending to Beckett and this map before next game.
Ooh.
And Wea, you remember that the little snippets of conversation that you overheard of Beckett having that meeting in that one saloon and
with Louise or whatever her name is.
Was
right?
with Louise, who Walter has already talked about being the leader of the Satin Hearts gang. That that one vampire who was masquerading as the general of the Inquisition was also a part of. And that you get the idea that Louise and her gang were being hired for safe passage on an expedition that Beckett was planning on going on.
I'll pull Walter aside and I'll tell him, you know, with all this and with what I found when I talked to our friend Beckett, it definitely sounds like your friends or your friend who has that group of people, the Heart Gang, something like that. It seems like they were being paid for protection. Oh, is Walter here?
Walter just goes, really?
Oops.
Yeah, so I don't know how deeply they're connected, but Beckett has done jobs with them or has definitely paid them for protection.
From what I can see, they got a lot to offer.
Do we have to worry about them? Especially if they're
Beckett's
connected
been good
with...
to you, right?
Yeah, I just ask if, you know, if they're connected with Beckett, and I just don't want to make sure they're not connected with Mr. Black, and then we have another enemy on our back.
Shit, man, we're connected to Mr. Black. Who isn't around here?
Well, not anymore. We're trying to get away from that creep, but you're right. Everyone around here seems to... Mr. Black seems to have his fingers in everyone's pockets.
Answer your question there. You met that alchemist down the mission. Dude did things that I guess even the elders can't fathom. We're dealing with a group of people that, look, all I know is their leader. I know she's capable of a lot. Yeah, they're formidable. I can't say that we're in... Look, the Spurs hadn't crossed paths with them, and I don't want to cross guns with them, if you catch my meaning. We haven't yet, and maybe we don't need to, but if we do meet up for any reason, seems like they're operating this area, so it's bound to happen. Maybe we ask questions before we shoot. That's my suggestion.
All right. Well, I just want to make sure you're aware of things that tie back to you or people that you know. Anyway, looks like, and I'll address the whole room. Sounds like we found what we are looking for, everyone. So good job. When we come back here, we'll have to destroy most of this room or whatever evidence that we destroyed. We want to either take it with us or destroy it. So we'll have to figure that out later.
Walter and Wea, go ahead and give me a wits plus politics roll.
Oh man.
Oh boy. I was literally just thinking I need to put points in politics for Walter. Actually. But...
0.
Is anyone gonna help me with all this money in this hole?
Right, you guys did find a good amount of some of the lock boxes that are in there do seem to be full of like money.
Oh wow.
I'll take some stacks of lock boxes with me.
I
I'm
got
just
2
throwing
successes
stacks.
on my political roll.
I got 0.
Okay, so Wea, you have no clue on this. Walter, especially because you've been kind of keeping loosely, not intently, but anytime you hear of the Satin Hearts or Louis, you kind of perk up and listen a little bit.
Yep.
The Satin Hearts have made a name for themselves, both good and bad. They used to be very similar to you guys, of being a gang that like kind of traveled in both human and kindred circles and was wanted by human authorities. But a while back, Louis and a couple of the others who originally were from clans of the Camarilla, rumor came to your ears that they basically threw their lot in with the Sabbat, which is why they then started operating more south of the border rather than on the American side of things. And that pretty much every member of that gang is a member. Well, your gang kind of is specifically unofficially neutral, where you guys are kind of a hodgepodge of different groups, but a lot of your key members are Camarilla if push came to shove.
Yeah.
Especially because of the connections with your sires. They're pretty much now a Camarilla gang, which is why they...
And the Satin Hearts are pretty much a Sabbat gang.
Pretty much, yeah. Which is why they can find refuge deep in Sabbat territory, which kind of sparks something in your head of, oh, I can understand Beckett, because Beckett, technically speaking, is Camarilla. However, if the rumors are true about Beckett, in his pursuit of knowledge of Canite lore and things like that, he'll work with anyone if he feels like it's a solid lead. And strictly speaking, most of the Camarilla, it is very taboo to believe in Canite Nodist lore, whereas the Sabbat believes in it very heavily. So
the Sabbat is literally only about that.
Correct. So you get the idea that Beckett's out for his own research, but so his alliances are not that he like works for the Sabbat or works for the Camarilla. He kind of is a loner that works for himself and only allies himself when absolutely have to be.
Hey, so are we. All right.
Exactly.
He just deals with us.
But yeah, you did hear rumors of that there are several high-ranking members of the Camarilla that have put a hit list on Louis and a couple of the key members of the Satin Hearts.
Wow.
Because they have aligned themselves with the Sabbat.
Does my knowledge like tell me enough to say like that the Camarilla consider them as defecting from Camarilla? Or is this just they don't like them because they're allies?
No, 1000%. They see them as traitors to the Camarilla.
Ooh, okay, that's actually really juicy.
They are labeled as a Sabbat gang.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
And there is a pretty high. So there's the price on their head in human culture, but then there are several high-ranking officials in the Camarilla, several princes and even higher up than that, that if you were to bring them knowledge that leads to the capture of any members of the Satin Heart would give you maybe a small favor. You bring them members of the Satin Hearts, especially ranking members of the gang, and you could get a much bigger payout.
Okay, they're very wanted. I think Walter will think to mention this then in response to Wea's question. Little bit of edit here, but I will say this. We probably shouldn't throw a lot in with them. They're wanted. you know, maybe we're wanted for some shit we done, but they're wanted like amongst our kind.
So we don't bring them up. We don't talk about them.
We can talk about knowing that they exist, but maybe not about knowing them.
All right. Well, we should keep our path clear then.
Well, you know, ain't no one else offered us a drink that makes us able to touch fire. That's all I'm saying. Maybe we can be what's that there country? It's always saying they're neutral. Just Zimbabwe.
I thought
Yeah.
it was Jamaica.
We're Jamaica on this.
That's right. See, between you and me, we got this.
What the fuck?
Geography brain.
It's amazing because the comic book you're talking about hasn't even existed yet.
Yeah. Canon.
Archaeological.
So, is there any other prep
Oh,
beyond that? Unless you guys are going to go through all the other mail,
No.
that's the main thing that you get from this.
Well, we already murdered the whole fort. We might as well commit mail fraud.
I mean, again,
We already committed mail fraud.
you know,
We
again,
might
you
as
guys
well
have-
run.
you guys have been going through this for a better bit of an
Yeah.
hour to figure out
Which is
the
about
map
how
and
long it
everything
should
else.
have taken Liam and Henry to be putting this stuff together away from everyone, anyways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys run into Asmodeus, who's also loading up the carriage with a couple of ammunition boxes, and it's like, well, I think I'm about ready to move out here just as soon as you all are.
Well, I think we've milked this place for all that it's worth. And we should get on the move before the move gets on us.
PETA goes, yes, PETA, who has come back into the fort, I agree. I would say take anything you want to take with you, and we should head out.
I want to check the horses, make sure that they're feeling healthy and good and fed. And I also want to look for the second barrel of whiskey to see if it exists still.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure
About
Bartleby will have
half of-
found it.
About half of it does, as you see Bartleby walking up and handing it to you.
You found it. Nah, man, this is for you. I just felt it would be a shame if it went to waste. Glad you got it.
I promise
Oh.
that I put it to good use.
The one thing that Liam did make sure to pick up at some point was the box of laudanum.
Okay,
Oh boy.
so I'd say
no.
Liam.
Oh no.
Liam, add to
Oh,
your
no.
add to your inventory 2 lupine claw daggers.
Laced with laudanum.
1 vial of laudanum. Who's keeping a hold of the letter from Mr. Black and the plans, the 6 pages of plans?
I'll hold on to those.
Okay,
since
add those to your
pertain
inventory.
me.
I
Got it.
I gave the map to Walter. I just reviewed it with him and Peter to see if we could see where were good points that would kind of get us around the lupines a little bit more
Okay.
safely.
So are you keeping that as Walter?
I gave it to Walter because he
Yeah, I'll,
Walter,
I'll
you-
hold on to
So
it.
Walter, you can add to your inventory map surrounding fort. Now, does the 4 of you that were turning over the captain's quarters, do you share with Asmodeus and Liam and the rest of everybody what you found?
Sure do.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, do we want to
to
tell?
whatever's
everyone?
relevant extent.
Yeah, we will tell the truth, but not the whole truth if Asmodeus is there.
Yeah, I mean he's there. So what do you guys say?
Look at all this money we got.
And I'll make it rain.
Asmodeus is like, damn, that looks that's a good find.
And then I'll take a clump of it and I'll like stick it in his shirt pocket. And I'll be like, "That's for you, sweetheart."
All right, I'll remember that.
This is too much.
Now,
Fly
just to
safe, bird
clarify,
boy.
You just call me Bird Boy.
Yes, I did, sweetheart. And he winks at you. And I will say, you guys can divide this up how you want. You found about $500.
Man, it looks like we found like $300 around here.
If one of us can message Miranda, and her favorite thing is to do the calculation of what that would be in today's money. So
The mathery.
yes.
Liam will find just a little bit like sidestep with Atris just to give her the dagger, or at least one of them.
Okay. So Atris, you get one of those daggers. Go ahead and give me we're not in D&D, so it's not sleight of hand. Go ahead and Liam, give me a Dex plus stealth roll.
I have those things. Wow. So out of 7 dice, I got 2 successes and then a 1. So I have 1 success. That happens to be a 9.
Let's see how PETA does.
Oh God.
Wait, oh no. Are we about to get derailed?
You love it, lucky motherfucker.
Oh.
Woo!
Woo!
That is a single botch.
Oh.
Then not only do I give it to Atris, I twirl it.
I'll do that because I'll sit there and make the difficulty higher.
The botching.
But very quickly and steadily, you hand it to Atris. PETA is none the wiser as far as you handing off the, elements of his ancestors.
The literal remains of his ancestors.
Right. It's fine. Okay, so for those that have the bone talons in there.
Why is it that I fear Liam with the most random shit, like a bottle of laudanum, over like the weapons that he crafts?
So their damage is strength plus 1. Actually,
Strength plus 1 what?
Exactly. Hold on. Let me check. That real quick.
Yeah. This note check brought to you by NordVPN.
I wish. If we keep saying it, it makes it true, right?
You just gotta speak it into existence. Protect your online identity better than Mr. Black protects his letters with NordVPN.
We just need 849 more subscribers.
Throw it up in the description just in case.
Yeah, just fake it.
Now, don't give them the free advertising. That was a taste, NordVPN. We're not saying your name again until you pay. Pony Express VPN, though, whoever that might be. Sign up today.
If you guys are wondering, these wonderful new backgrounds that you might see on some of our profile pictures were actually commissioned by, what's her name again?
Katrine Rasmussen.
She did an awesome job.
Yes, she did.
Thank you
I can't
once
tell if
again.
it's Photoshop or drawn. I don't know. It's beautiful.
It is amazing. That's what it is.
All right. So it is lethal damage. You get the idea that part of what makes it ag damage for Lupine is the amount of strength that goes behind it.
So if I pump my strength, does it shift to ag?
No, however, well, if you
However.
pump,
What?
if you pump it's going to cost 2 willpower and 2 blood. So just making your notes, Atris and Liam, 2 willpower and 2 blood. And then you can make a, so that is just to pay to make the roll. And then you're making a manipulation plus occult roll. Difficulty is 7. You don't know what it does yet, but you know that it does something. And then once someone tries it out, we'll fill in that blank.
But that's not to stabby stab. That's just to activate whatever this is that we don't know yet.
I mean, it's part of a stabby stab. It's on top of a stabby stab.
No, but if I just want to use it as a regular weapon.
Oh yeah,
I
if you
don't
just
have
want to
that.
use it as a regular weapon, it's strength plus 1 lethal.
All right.
It's a dagger at that point. But as far as whatever elements are, and the reason it costs so much is because you're
It's gonna
basically
do
trying
something
to
good.
you're trying to basically waken up dormant energy that is not your own in something that you're not trained in. So it's kind of a crapshoot.
Gotcha.
My favorite kind.
Yeah.
No power, 2 blood to make the roll, and then no power. Manipulation and occult, difficulty 7 to activate.
Correct.
Got it.
So you still have to spend the willpower and blood, and the roll could not succeed. But if it does, something will happen.
Bob Barker, come on down.
Just a stupid question. I know you can make obviously you spend the willpower and blood for the roll, but then with the manipulation occult, could you auto success with more willpower points, or is that not
Unfortunately not, because since willpower is your own personal abilities, this is a third-party item essentially.
Gotcha.
So your will unfortunately doesn't affect this item.
Just need to ask.
Especially since it's not specifically made for kindred. You're basically trying to jerry-rig a lupine artifact to work with vampiric abilities. However, if you were to find a vampiric mage or weaponsmith, you've heard tale before of vampires that specialize in the crafting and making of weapons for other kindred. And maybe someone like that could do
Juice
a
this
little
up.
bit more with it. But this is just from something that you literally slapped together yourselves.
I ain't mad at it.
If only we knew a magic weaponsmith of some kind.
Who wasn't like hundreds of miles away.
All right. Other than that, PETA, Henry, Asmodeus, all of them are ready to go. Asmodeus takes back his position on top of the turret. Henry, unless told otherwise, is going back to riding inside the carriage.
I thought Henry has his own horse.
Oh, that's right. Henry has.
I've ridden with Henry
Bartleby
before.
was the one inside the carriage.
I will be on top of the carriage,
Okay.
holding the reins of the horses.
And is Sonoy inside the carriage or running alongside it?
He'll be inside.
Okay.
This place is dangerous.
Okay. Sonoy.
I'm gonna ride on top with Asmodeus. And if I have to lay prone to do it, I will.
Okay. Who else is driving? So there's Wea has the reins. Who's sitting next to Wea?
Atris will ride shotgun.
Okay. So that leaves Liam and Noah. Where are you at?
I'll be inside the carriage.
Okay.
But before we go, I would like to ask the group, are we done at this fort? Are we coming back this week? What's our plan? Because if we're coming back here, we might not want to leave that room trashed.
Yeah, we agreed we gotta actually torch it, man. But we might need a place to stay and rest after whatever the hell's about to happen. So that's why we didn't do it yet.
Yeah,
No,
we're gonna
I-
use this as an outpost, and before we leave for the final time, we will destroy all the evidence.
Well
Yeah,
then, Bartleby, what are you doing in this fucking wagon? Get out of here. You got something to do.
Yeah, we're
No,
not
no.
burning it. We're burning it yet. No. After,
No, we're
after
coming back.
we-
We're coming back. We're not gonna burn it now.
After we deal with the Lupine, we'll come back here to possibly rest, and then we'll burn the whole thing down.
I doubt that Mr. Black's associate's gonna reach out here in the next 4 or 5 days when it took us how long to get here.
What are the odds that could happen?
It's not like they can like just teleport or
High or
jump
low?
through. Yeah.
The big
I
bright.
don't know. Depends on how much you piss off the storyteller between now and then.
All I'm
Oh.
saying is we could burn down the captain's building, and that'd give enough reason for why everyone ran away from the base. We don't
No.
have to burn down the beds in the barracks.
All I'm thinking is if maybe they heard some bangs not earlier, but if this place looks like it's still standing, then others are less likely to come snooping around trying to figure out what happened because of something happening. I don't want the signal of a whole bunch of flames and smoke. We'll be back here.
Flames. Big burning flames. Big bright beacon. We don't want that.
We wouldn't like a beacon of fire, but we certainly would like the soldiers' stories to match up to what they come
Of
back
course.
to.
And if
Well,
it's
It'll
a-
happen. It'll happen. Just
If it was a 3-day trip
This is
for us
coming
to
from
get
me.
here, it'll be a week trip for them to come back.
Which gives us plenty of time.
Oh, trust me, we are going to light this place on fire. It's going to be fun.
You see
Liam's
Bartleby's
banking
face
on it.
kind of light
That's
up.
all
a
he's
little
looking
bit
forward
for a
to.
second.
What's that, Sean?
You see Bartleby's face kind of light up for a second.
Oh yes,
And-
I'm sure you're wanting to have fair bits over here. You fucking pyro.
As he's sitting there holding a bottle with a rag coming out of it, and he's just sitting there looking at you like, Atris, I'm offended, as he kind of just slowly puts down the bottle and puts it on the floor of the carriage.
Tucks it under the seat.
Just his own little Molotov cocktail just kind of like hanging out there.
So anyway, are we all set now? We
Yep.
all ready to saddle up these doggies, as Walter would say.
Hey, don't put words in my mouth. Them
PETA
doggies are saddled up.
PETA comes up with his painted horse and comes to all you and he goes, all right, now this is the last trek before we come to the village. There are going to be more patrols than ever on this last bit. I can smell, and he kind of holds his nose a bit, that you still have your bags around your neck.
Oh, these?
Oh yeah, the I highly encourage stealth, because if they catch us before we're ready to do whatever you want to do, it's going to be one hell of a fight.
Look, the other option, and this is the only other option, and if we say no, it's fine, but I've summoned Ichitai once. We're currently in a fortified location. We could just have the battle out here.
Don't we want to talk to a few of them for the fight?
Yeah, no, we do.
Insurrection. Insurrection.
No,
Henry speaks up and from his horse, and he goes, I mean, what Liam is suggesting isn't, if everything else fails, I don't know if we have plans A, B, C, and D, but once we get to if we run out of all other plans, we're not going to outrun an entire war party of lupines. So if we have to fall back here as our last stand, and he kind of looks over at Walter, no offense, I know how the last one of those went for you.
Gotta say it that way.
Hey, you're the ones always saying that we have to remember it.
Oh my god. The shade. So thick.
God damn.
This might be our only option as a point of last defense if all other options fail.
It's actually a good idea.
Good thing it ain't on fire then.
Noah.
Arnold B.
Hold on.
Later, the fire can come later.
But that's what I'm saying. If all else fails, we have somewhere to fall back to that is relatively more secure, that gives us some sort of advantage.
Agreed.
How's our plan to actually have a conversation with someone? We're just
Oh,
gonna
yes, sir.
walk straight up and say, "Hey, let me talk to only these folks, but not that one dude who's leading them all."
No, I do
All
have
I'm
plans to
saying
converse
is-
with some.
It only took, what, 5 of us to take out a whole team of constantly watching guards. I don't think this place is as defensible as we look at it as.
It's better than
I don't
an
trust the
epic-
humans.
While it is not the most fortified position, it has walls. It has one point of entry.
It has strategic value.
It has the high ground.
It does have the high ground. What? I don't know why,
And
why you
Asmodeus
laugh?
speaks up and goes, and not to forget, and he pats the Gatling gun.
Etiquette.
How walls and this beauty might buy us just enough time if we had to fall back and we still have any ammunition left.
Oh, speaking of which, how much ammo did we get from?
I think
I'm
I
sure
gave
it's
you, I don't have that right in front of me, but I'm pretty sure I gave you guys that note.
I can tell you.
Yep.
I'm the ammo keeper for that.
I did steal
Danny,
6 summer
don't-
bullets from that fancy gun.
Danny,
but-
don't ask me why, but I need you to roll a perception plus alertness roll for Bartleby.
Uh-oh.
After that, after Atreus asked that, I would like to ask the group, how are we gonna move the Gatling gun on top of the walls? Seems firmly attached to this carriage.
We
Yeah,
have
this
enough-
carriage is high up. What do you mean? It's good. By the way,
not
we have
30 feet high
71 bullets.
Worst comes to worst, we can lift this thing. Like we got like 8 of us here.
And I mean, Asmodeus looks at it and goes, well, I mean, it's not like it's welded on here. She had to have fixed it. We can try and we have tools. We can sit there and try and take it off the mounting if we absolutely had to.
Yeah, you think the werewolves will wait for us to do that? We'll just kind of hang out. We'll tell them we got a project going on. Just hold your horses. You're second in line.
We could rip it off its mount with 8 of us and how strong we all are together.
Somewhere in the distance, Josephine twitches for an unknown reason at the thought of her hard work being ripped off. Just somewhere in a saloon, Josephine is just sitting there going, son of a bitch. You know? How did Bartleby do? One.
Cool.
Okay, so we ready to move stealthily from here now? It's a quiet mission overall.
Absolutely. I step out the carriage and close the door.
Okay.
After that, I'd like to use unseen presence
Okay.
to walk back into the base.
Okay. You go invisible and you walk into the base. Okay.
Very
Let Noah
simply, I leave my new item hanging over the edge of an oil lantern.
Okay.
And I walk out the building
Okay.
and I rejoin the gang on the back of the wagon.
Hold on, I need to message you because I need to ask something. Sorry, guys. There's apparently secret stuff happening. So
Intrigue.
Hey man, secrets make
Mostly
drama.
that is the game plan.
Drama
Okay.
makes for good interaction.
Go ahead and give me a wits. You know what? This is just going to be a straight wits roll in order to see how you do with the timing of this. And I'll message you another question.
Absolutely. I'll be watching. Wow. I got it standard?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I got 3.
Okay.
The leftmost one. The one with the mess inside.
Okay. All right. You guys see the door open and close. You see Noah go all kind of shimmery and he's hard to track all of a sudden. You kind of it's hard to see him. And he's just gone for a few minutes. And then Noah, what do you do on your return?
I don't make a big deal out of it, but I'll jump on the back of the wagon and giddy up. Let's get it. All done here.
Yeah, we've been all done. We're all done here.
Yeah, that's what I said. Let's go.
All right.
Hit the horses with the reins.
And those riding horses start galloping away, and you start taking off in the direction that, once again, PETA is guiding the troop.
All right.
You guys get about 20 minutes down the road. It's at this point of night, between the map reading and the gathering everything up, I would say it's about 9 o'clock at night. By this point, you guys spent about 3 hours doing what you were doing in the base before heading out. Decent winter night, not too bad, no snowstorm or anything like that. The moon is starting to wane, so it's not a full moon, and you start heading towards way off in the distance. You see a bit of a mountain range, and PETA's saying where we need to get around this way. And again, they're not full on. It's not like the Sierra Nevadas or anything like that, but it is a couple of, you see the topography start to go uphill a bit. And about 20 minutes in, Wea, you can do a perception plus alertness roll. This is going to be smell. So for you, it's standard difficulty. For anyone else who is not inside the carriage, you can roll regular perception plus alertness difficulty 8. And let me know if anyone gets more than 3 successes.
I got 1.
Nope.
Damn it! I got 0 successes.
Nope.
I botched.
Oh no.
Yeah, if it's 8, I botched.
Okay.
I just botched in general. I didn't even get a single 6.
The stealth mission botch.
No, I mean, no, that's just you guys trying to observe something. You don't.
Oh God.
We've got a mission ahead of us.
Yep.
Forward on to not done.
So, all right. So, as of right now, everything is out and exposed. As the carriage continues, I need everyone to go ahead and roll regular stealth for me, please.
Is it
Just
deck
stealth?
stealth?
It is deck stealth.
I'm good at that.
Something I'm good at, and I get to roll my full dice for the first time in so long on this.
Oh, I actually did good
4.
this time.
Yeah, I rolled a 4.
5 successes.
Okay.
I can
4, 5.
6 successes. 6
Six.
successes.
5.
10.
Shit. Okay.
I'm seeing a bunch of silent flexes.
I was only silent because the math took a while.
Without any of you obfuscated and without the cone of silence up,
John froze, or he's thinking about what to say.
no, so far you don't notice anything. There's one point where PETA kind of gives the stop motion and gets down on the ground, and as you guys go, the terrain starts to incline more, get a bit more rocky, and he goes, right, one moment, and he gets off his horse, slings some of you see that he has a bow and arrow and a quiver, and he puts that on. He also has a rifle and a tomahawk, and he straps that all on. A couple of pouches, and then he looks at the horse and he's petting its head, and he's speaking to it. Since none of you speak the language of Comanche, none of you would understand this, but he goes, and then he kind of leads the horse off, and he gives it a smack on the butt, and the horse starts walking off, and he goes,
All I'm gonna say is the horse didn't understand a word of that.
Right. And he takes a moment, and you see the eyes start to go yellow, the fur starts to show on his side, the clothes start to kind of melt into him, and you see him transform into a regular, not the full dire wolf sized one, but a regular brown wolf. And the wolf kind of gives you a nod, and he starts sniffing around, and then starts heading off forward.
I want to take the opportunity to just read the map a little bit. And if
Okay.
I see anything that strikes me as, let's say, additional to the route that he's taking us on, that may impact our ambushability, I would whistle at the wolf, or at least I probably like more like hurried whisper, so it's less hearable from a distance. But and try to ask this wolf to nod or not if I have some idea of changing our route, just for safety.
Go ahead, and this would be a wits plus survival roll.
This is just me trying to leverage a Walter's open road.
Yeah.
And I guess also my like wits ambush specialty. That roll was real bad though. I got 1 success.
You don't really see anything. I mean, you get the idea that this guy grew up in this area and he's literally taking you home. So you kind of get the idea that he knows the best way to go and that you're not going to white mansplain to him a better way to approach this.
It's called correctile dysfunction, Sean.
Oh, excuse me. As you guys go, the path does become more rocky. There's more like the ground underneath you, fine layer of snow on it, but you're noticing like more rocks and things like that where it's not as you're like, huh, what? Josephine needs to add some suspension to this wagon a little bit because the road becomes a little bit less comfortable for those riding inside and on top of the carriage, and those on horses, there's a little bit more of having to work around the occasional larger rock outcropping and boulder and things like that. As you guys are going more and more upwards, the trees start to get a little bit more sparse. Let's see.
Is the carriage making a lot of noise on this?
I mean, it's definitely creaking. The wagon wheels are making noise, and the horses every so often, as they're keeping warm and everything. So there's definitely plenty of sound happening.
Aegis is gonna go and roll her silence of death and spend.
Okay. Those on and immediately around the carriage are silenced.
So anyways, Henry, there I was, knee deep in a pit of...
After I realized that we can't hear nothing anymore, I'm gonna cloak the wagon.
Okay. Do you have to roll for that?
Stealth team
no.
6.
I think it just applies itself as unseen presence. Yeah, it's just subconscious, so no.
Okay, cool. Let's see.
Yeah, I wouldn't have to hide the sound of the wheels, so I don't think I'd have to wit stealth that one, right?
No, Aegis would have it taken care of.
All right.
Try and look something up real quick.
Uh-oh, he's reading. Stop him.
All right, perfect. So when things go silent, you actually see Henry try with a questioning look on his face to do some rudimentally hand signs and see if you pick up on any of that, Liam, which you don't have that as a language, so no.
I silently scream, stop him, he's the copy ninja.
Yeah, no, at this point there would be some rudimentally, it wouldn't be called ASL, but some basic manual signing would have already been invented in the 16th and 17th century.
I noticed that like all this wheel rutting no longer makes noise and the horses are quiet. I tap Asmodeus, I pull out my pistol and kind of grin at him and just like level it at the sky, but not straight up, and just like fire and just look at him with a shit-eating grin.
Asmodeus sits there and pulls out one of his, gives you a wink, spins, does a little bit of a spinning, a little flourish, and shoots it, and the bullet goes whizzing out. He gives you one more, and then he sits there and he kind of looks around for something. He reaches in his pocket, pulls out a $50, flips it in the air, goes and shoots.
I race to shoot it before him.
Okay.
Oh yeah, quick draw that shit, Doug.
All right. So you do have a quick draw specialty, don't you? Or
I
is it
sure
a
do.
merit? Or is it a merit?
It's a specialty.
Okay, so any
I have ambidextrous though.
so any 10s count for 2 rather than 1 success, and you still get to re-roll it.
Oh man. Oh man. All right, I'm gonna roll to shoot then.
All right, so that's going to be Dex plus firearms, or yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of dice. Man, not one of these is a 10.
Oh,
Damn.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come on. 6 successes.
All right. 2, 4,
the cat needs love right now.
8.
Right now. Particularly this end of the cat.
Well, that was 9 successes on him, because he
Four.
also has the quick draw specialty, and he rolled 2 10s, so that definitely helped him. So just a fraction of a second faster than you, he sits there and pulls it, and no sound except for you can hear a little about this little ping as he shoots through it, and you see the coin whiz off in the distance.
My shot probably still goes off too and just
Oh
you
yeah.
know, misses.
Yeah.
Liam just gets very upset that they're wasting money.
You can't even hear. Well, you can hear the clink.
So
You
silently,
can't see
Walter.
or hear, really.
Silently, Walter. That's right. It would be hard to see other than just blurry images motioning at each other. But I'll say where the quick draw came is you saw the coin once it left the obfuscated area, and that's where the quick draw came in.
I would argue that hand-eye coordination has nothing to do with seeing your hands.
True. But it's more of the fact that what he's holding up would be hard to make out as part of the obfuscate. Fuck, he can't talk either. Otherwise, he was going to offer Walter a bet, but there was no way he can make that clear in this moment.
No, and he can't write a message either because Walter can't read.
And even if he could, he wouldn't be able to see it because of obfuscate.
Are we actually not able to see each other in this?
You just
thought we
see
established that-
shimmers.
You
You guys
basically
are
it's
just
one of
going
those-
psycho, ripping Walter apart.
you see fuzzy outlines and stuff like, because you all were part of the same obfuscate and aware of each other's presence and still have each other in eye line. You see the predator kind of outline blurred.
You'd have to be
shimmers.
inside the carriage to see what's inside the carriage clearly, but that's about it.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's where we rolled it.
so yeah, Asmodeus had his fun, everything else. You keep track of the wolf, and every so often it kind of disappears behind the rock outcrop, and you'll see him crawl up to the top of it to look back, so that way you can see him as kind of an outline, and you continue to follow around. Wea, you're driving this, right?
I am driving this.
Okay, so it's Wea and Atris on top, correct?
Yes, we're in the
Um,
bench seat.
And Asmodeus and Walter riding the top.
Up top.
Of it. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say Atris and Walter. Decide among yourselves, high or low. Come to an agreement.
Atris, I've got friends in low places.
Low is fine.
Okay.
All I needed was a Garth Brooks lyric.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, friends in low places.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. This part of the journey is also going well. That was a 4, so you guys made a good call.
Can I stop now?
Calculated. No, never.
With the baby.
Oh
Is
yeah,
ba-
baby.
All right, so you continue going, and there's not any kind of path or trail out here. You guys are in the middle of the wilderness. There is no path or trail whatsoever. But it seems like there is almost like a unseen path that PETA seems to be following to lead you in the direction. And every so often he seems to go out of the way where it's not the most, he seems to be leading you to this very large plateau that's kind of wedged between these other, I wouldn't call them full on mountains. They're not high enough to be mountains, but this very high hills. So you've seen certain desert outcroppings and stuff like that where the hills are, so we're not talking like Grand Canyon status or anything like that, but definitely decent elevation to this. And the trees are becoming more pines and evergreens that are up here, if anything. That seem to be, you've seen some of these trees before where they're holding on to a boulder by the roots and stuff like that. It's starting to get a little bit more elevated and a little bit more up. It's getting a little bit colder. You're noticing that too as you're kind of like going up and in. I need someone to volunteer to make a roll.
What kind of role?
Someone volunteer.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Chad,
speak up.
I need you to roll a d6 for me, please.
Ooh, I have one of those right in front of me, actually. All right,
I
critical
was
roll
gonna
dice.
assist, but I don't own a D6.
Like a d6,
Wow.
like a d6.
I got a 2.
Ooh, okay.
Are we feeling fly?
Like a white guy?
Like a D6.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Superfly.
Super fly.
PETA comes running back up to the where the carriage area is and transforms back into human, and kind of gives one of these.
Oh, fuck.
I pull back on the reins of the horse.
And he's going like this, and he's pointing. As you're going up the hill, you look over and around, and off in the distance, a little bit further down, because now you're starting to go up the elevation towards this very large plateau. You see two shapes move in the distance. Anyone that's up and around, and I'll say, Noah, you can do this too if you stick your head out the window. Go ahead and give me a perception plus alertness roll.
I feel like if Chad would have rolled a 6, it'd be 6 patrol people.
Who could say?
2.
7.
Ooh.
Damn.
I got
There it
4,
is.
but
It's that perception, dog.
All right, 4 for Noah.
What is it, perception
Liam, how'd you
alertness?
do?
Perception alertness.
Yeah, alertness.
Alertness, yep.
Also, specifically, Wea, you notice this first. You look out and you see the outline of 2 wolves, whether it just be the number of times that you and Sonoy have traveled together in wolf form, something almost like an animalistic tracking. And as the rest of you are looking, those of you that got successes all eventually notice this too. You see the shape of a little ways off 2 wolves, and they seem to be, they're not running, they're moving very slowly, noses to the ground and then noses up, seem to be like searching around for something.
They're not in a path that we've already traversed, are they?
Correct. They're off to your right and back, so the path that you traverse is more back and to the left, but it seems to be a patrol.
Like JFK.
Yeah. But this is a it seems to be a scouting party of a patrol that is patrolling this area.
I stay still.
Yeah.
What
Idle move.
what does PETA do? Oh, sorry, where?
No, I'm just sitting still. I pulled the horses back and I'm like,
Uh,
Yeah, if no one else is Atris is gonna sit completely still at her seat next to Waya.
PETA is down low behind a rock, head peeking out just a little bit to keep his eyes on them. And he is intently staring at them in that direction.
If my long rifle has a 200-foot range, do I feel like these are within the range that Walter knows is kind of
Yes.
the rifle range?
Yes.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Real quick, because Atris hasn't cast any obfuscate power, she wants to cast her own Cloak the Gathering to cloak PETA.
Okay. You do that, and
Sorry, go ahead.
okay. So I'll say, Atris, you would have to like get off the carriage and then get a little bit closer to PETA, I think, if I remember correctly from the ability.
It's as far as I know, it's. I know we wrote down what the area of effect was because. Because it doesn't say the area of effect in that specific ability.
I think we established before that this is a around the caster kind of thing, not something you can like throw away from you.
hoist.
Would Waya have seen PETA turn around to acknowledge us
Yes.
as the driver?
Yes.
So through that eye contact, would Waya understand what PETA is empathetically thinking? Not saying maybe, but the overall feel of his message towards us?
I felt that he wanted us to be quiet, so I stopped all the horses and stopped all movement of the carriage.
That is how Waya is interpreting this.
Okay.
Okay, I am here. My camera just turned off, and I don't want to leave the meeting to come back in again.
I found the stat for the range for obfuscates: 5
Okay.
yards or per dot of width plus stealth.
Okay, I mean, PETA's definitely within that, and he goes, he becomes obfuscated, and then so is now silent, and you can't see what he's doing. Funny enough, you actually see him reappear a little ways down the hill as he's made his way. And he looks back at you guys. Now, he is outside the range of the cone, so he can make noise, but he's choosing not to at this point.
Okay.
And he goes,
I'm sorry, I didn't see that because you didn't make a noise. Could you do that motion again? I'm watching your screen now. Okay. All right, well, I'm inside the wagon, so that meant nothing to me, but thank you.
Damn it.
If you guys want, anyone who saw that can make a perception plus empathy to understand what he's saying.
Oh, yeah.
I'll try.
Yeah, I got it as well.
Liam's impatient. He just kind of like pushes Henry on his horse to like start going.
1, 2, 3. 3 successes.
3 successes, 1 success from Atris.
6 successes.
6 successes. And Liam, you're just pushing your horse.
Well, because I'm riding with Henry on Henry's horse, and I just kind of like kick his horse a little bit, start nudging it forward because I'm impatient.
Okay. PETA sees this and goes.
I completely botched on my roll.
He wants you to steal first. I'll say with the 3 and the 6 successes, Walter and Ware, you get that he's asking for 2 people to come with him.
I am gonna motion the reins over to Atris, and I'm just gonna place them on her lap.
I'm gonna see him doing that. I'm gonna tap Wea on the shoulder as my shimmer or whatever. I'm gonna just, roll off this thing and hop down.
Yeah, and I'm a wrap my arm around Walter, so we're paired up, and then I'm gonna walk us over to PETA.
Okay.
Wow. So am I taking the submissive arm hook in our walkover, and you're the one offering the elbow?
It was
I
more
want
of
to get
a
a good sense of how we're.
it was more of like a forceful like ring around than like a offering of an elbow. It was more.
Hell yeah, we go. We go.
Yeah.
Okay. So you catch up with PETA, and you're both hunkered down. Again, the wolves are not leaving the area, they're staying around. And PETA, in an extremely low voice, says, I want to get a little bit closer to see who they are. If they're anyone I trust, they could be helpful. If they're anyone I either don't know or have sided with Ichitai, he's talking about a lot softer than I am, but I'm trying to make sure you guys can hear me. We have 2 options. We can try and sneak away, but if we do so, they might eventually pick up on our trail and either follow us or run back to the village and alert people that there were intruders nearby, which might put them on high alert. Or we can try and ambush them and take them out. But if we fail and they send up the call, that could have its own problem too.
Are you offering to murder your own kind right now?
If they are with Ichitai.
I think that our best bet would be to send someone who can both be close enough that they wouldn't even see them next to them, and someone who can make them silent when we need them to be silent.
I'm sorry, Noah. Did you come with us?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I thought you guys were next to the.
No, we are off having a powwow.
Dang.
I'll look at
Yeah,
Walter.
he's that good. He's snuck up on all 3 of you.
Dude, yeah, he's got that.
I mean,
stealth.
hey, Noah, if you want to roll Dex, I can make that canon. If you want to roll Dex plus stealth.
Actually, yes, I'll take that. I'll take that as an
Okay,
opportunity.
please roll Dex plus stealth for me. Difficulty is 7.
I got 5 with 3 rerolls. Hang on. So I got 6.
Yeah. So, guys, you 3, PETA, Walter, and Ware, are all hunkered down by this rock. I need Walter and Wea to make a courage roll
God damn it.
for me to not call
my
out.
gosh.
Not freak the fuck
Oh
out.
god.
I mean, yeah.
What's the difficulty?
Standard.
1 success,
Okay, that's all you needed.
please.
0.
Oh no.
Okay. So, order of events. You guys are hushed and talking, very nervously looking, trying to keep eye contact with the wolves. All of a sudden, the strong smell of graveyard dirt pops in, and Noah's ugly mug pops up between you guys out of nowhere, just kind of his talking breaking the obfuscate and him saying his advice kind of thing. Wea and PETA keep their mouth shut. Walter, you have a moment of bang. Now I need to roll for the wolves and see how their perception is.
This is canon.
You are so lucky
Chaos
that there
is
were
king.
ones. You were so fucking lucky.
Hey, they were lucky that I rolled ones to get to this point.
Um, they do not seem to have, while you do make something of a noise, Walter, from the surprise of Noah just popping up into place. They do not seem to, they are still searching around and looking. They're definitely seem to be like hunting for something, or at least on the lookout, but they don't seem to change their demeanor at all.
I lower a pistol-shaped shimmer from Noah's.
Oh, at this point, you guys have been talking, so you guys aren't obfuscated or you're hidden behind the rock, but talking breaks obfuscate.
I lower a very solid-looking pistol away from Noah's face.
Uh,
Well, that does sound reasonable.
It goes,
It's not to be seen coming up on him, but I guess that Peter, you know he can make you invisible or whatever.
my idea is that a small group of us go down and I can see if I can identify them as friend or foe. If friend, I should go alone and speak with them because I still don't know how they're going to feel about me allying myself with your kind. No offense.
That's taken.
But if they're foe, I'm not going to make a choice and put you all at danger one way or the other. I feel like there are pro and con to either situation of either trying to sneak away or trying to ambush them and attack. So I think you would have to discuss that with the rest of the group.
Yeah. Discuss. Well, yeah, we're good at discussing, right?
I'll just kind of like put my hands together and crack my knuckles.
I love
Yeah,
talking to
solve
people
our
before I do things. Let's go.
You both, yeah.
We eavesdrop and then we make the decision from there.
So what signal should we watch for before we do the first shot? I mean, kill. I mean, quieting someone.
Well, we'll get there when we get there. We don't even know if we have to do that yet. This could be a blessing.
Before I make myself known, I'm going to try and sneak down and see if I can figure out who they are before I make myself known.
That means our job, and Walter's staring dead on Noah. Our job is to not get found and not be seen.
I can do that.
Till we know better. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah, let's do
we're
it.
in
Let's
agreement.
stealth.
All right. I need now, Noah, are you gonna cast Obfuscate again, or are you gonna keep things as they are?
Yes, I'll recast Obfuscate. Cloak the Gathering as unseen presence over our small party.
Okay.
I'm assuming that we would have stopped the carriage before the ridge line. and
Yeah,
not
no. Where he had you stop kind of hit it from that angle behind a couple of outcroppings of rock. So there's at least that visual barrier there.
Yeah, so if I'm using unseen presence on everyone, that would just mean it would be a wit plus stealth roll to make sure that no one hears us walking up.
Does each person need to roll stealth?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a deck. This is going to be a dex plus stealth from everybody in this group to make sure that you don't do something that's going to break the obfuscate.
Right.
I mean, I'm assuming this is like this carries because we're all just kind of sitting here at the moment.
I'll use a willpower for mine.
I rolled a 6.
Nice.
I rolled many sevens.
So many sevens.
That's the wrong dice.
I have 3 ones out of that, but anyway, the total's 3 successes.
8.
I'm using this dice jail. Fuck these dice. I've gotten ones all night.
All right. So you think you've hunkered down. You think that you're pretty kind of as you see PETA transform into a wolf again and slowly make his way down this little hill and duck behind some rocks, and you lose sight of him as you see the wolves sniffing around, and one of their heads go up and look not at you guys like, oh, they see you, but more just looking towards the hillside. And that's where we're going to end tonight's game.
Oh, I was wondering when you were going to end it.
Yep.
Oh, man, the cliffhangers.
All right. So we will pick this back up next week. We are on the last leg of this trip to get to the Indian village.
This trip has legs.
Yes, so many of them. Everyone at home, thank you for watching. If you're liking what you're seeing, please like and subscribe. Feel free to comment, ask questions, any of that. We will then play next week, and we hope to see you then. Stay safe, and until we see you next time, keep your fangs and your wits sharp, and we'll see you on Tumbleweeds and Tombstones. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Heyo.